Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Mr. Brother Abayba from the DC Church, coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim, Shah Bashim, Kokadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Bashim, and again the name, calling in spirit, Kadash being the Holy. Alright, these are the names and the powers that I come to you in order to profess the 100% truth. The Lord's will seal the elect's faith. Shanya Kabak, I will live recobs, according now by Ith, being a double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS in these times, whom the Heavenly Father had enlisted the 100% truth to. And Shalom, Barakum, Labakar, Shiasha, peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. And to the men out there that's pushing His word in sincerity and truth, to you I say Shalom, Barakum, them, peace and blessings be upon you. Now, without further ado, this video is going to be called it is an easy thing for the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich, or something along the lines of that. And really where I got this topic from is some personal situations, also kind of just analyzing and filtering things through the scriptures and through the precepts, which I believe that's actually, let me grab that real quick. I'm gonna start off in I think it's Sirach. No. 11. Verse. Yeah. I'm gonna start here, and then I'm gonna further elaborate in the midst of me building up a point from this precept, right? So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 21. It says, "Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Heavenly Father and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich." All right. And it says, "The blessings of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish." Right. So, I was reading this precept, and I kept reading this precept, and I always come back to this precept when it pertains to monetary gain, and it also is indicative of spiritual growth too. It's easy for the Heavenly Father to allow certain spirits to dwell within you in order for you to be uplifted in His truth. But furthermore, it's also easy for the Heavenly Father to put the spirit of financial growth on you also. And we actually have an example of when that came to fruition, right? There's an actual example of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically directing His disciples on where to cast their net in order for them to obtain food, right? And not only just food, but fish, of course, more primarily, but fish abundant. He didn't just, it wasn't just enough to suffice them for that day. He gave them enough, or he told them to cast the net on the right side, and they had enough fish that filled the net, So the Heavenly Father's Son, or the Heavenly Father through His Son, is very capable of allowing these things to happen in our own lives privately too, all right? So this is John chapter 21, verse 1. It says, "And after these things, Yahweh Shah shewed Himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias, and on the wise shewed Himself," right? It says, there were together Simon Peter and Thomas called Didymus, and Nathanael of Cana and Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, and two others of His disciples. And Simon Peter said unto them, I go a fishing. They say unto him, We also go with thee. They went forth and entered into the ship immediately. That it says, and went to enter into the ship immediately, and that night they caught nothing. And that's essentially how it is in our lives, man. You're gonna have situations to where you're not going to be able to provide. You're not going to be able to have, or you're lacking essentially. And all of us are fucking debt slaves, man. Excuse my vulgarity, but all of us are in, absurd amounts of debt. But the society is formulated like that in order for us to continuously be enslaved to the system in which Esau Edom had created, okay? So you are going to have situations to where, you're fishing, you're doing your part and your job as to working, and you still come up short, and that's essentially what happened in this case and scenario. And then it goes to say, verse 4, it says, but when the morning was come, Yahushua stood at the shore, but the disciples knew not that it was Yahushua, right? Yahushua HaMashiach. And then Yahushua saith unto them, children, have ye any meat? And they answered him, no. And they said unto him, cast the net. It says, then he said unto them, cast the net on the right side of the ship, and ye shall find. They cast therefore, and now they were not able to draw it for the multitude of fishes. Okay, so the Heavenly Father knows, like, you got to understand, the Lord can allow numbers, zeros, to just populate in your account. He can allow food to be docked at your house somehow, some way. He can rain manna. I mean, you really got to think about this, bro. It's easy. It's easy. And the thing is, Yahushua could have directed those fish. It doesn't give those in-depth detail. It just say that they casted the net on the right-hand side, and they couldn't pull out the fish, or they couldn't pull out the net from the sea for how much fish was in there. Now, Yahushua could have directed those fish to go into that net because he has power over those resources, man. How much more? You got to really think about this, man. Like, how much more a fucking piece of paper with an Edomite's face on it? All right? So it's easy on the sudden for the Heavenly Father to make a poor man rich. You got to really consider these things. You got to really consider how you got to consider that this is an example of this precept, Sirach, the 11th chapter, coming to fruition. All Yahushua has to do is just direct you. All the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah, has to do is direct you on where you need to cast your net in order for you to get some gain, man. But at the same time, these financial boulders are put in our lives primarily for us to understand the power in which the Heavenly Father is capable of exacting to us. All right? Because you got to understand, with a certain spiritual status comes a certain financial status, and comes a certain and comes also a certain status of faith. All right? These situations that you go through, you have to acknowledge that it's not just the situation itself. It's also something I'm battling internally. You got to reflect on, are these demons that I inherited from my parents? Are these demons that I inherited from, a lack of discipline or not being exactly where I need to be in life whenever it pertained to what was told of me to do? You really got to soul search and ask yourself how these situations came about. But primarily, you also got to understand that these situations present themselves in order for you to have an opportunity for you to see how majestic the Heavenly Father's power really is and how powerful he really is. Because these financial boulders, they look like things that we can't surmount, or these adversaries that we have, whether it be financial or whether it be and I stated this before, primarily our biggest issues will be resolved or revolved around finances. So, I'm going to keep it in that range for this specific topic, right? So we look at these situations, and sometimes we look at we do the checks and balances, and we just like, damn, bro, no matter how much I put into this, I'm still looking like I'm behind the negatives, but the Lord is allowing these situations to happen in order for you to sacrifice more, for you to see the power that you can obtain through the sacrifices that you give to the name of Yahweh Shah. Okay? So if you know that you're fighting a bigger adversary, understand that you can't keep using the same method in which you used before. You got to use a different method, You got to up the ante. If you're used to fasting for 2 days, fast for 3. If you're used to fasting for 3, fast for 4. If you used to fasting for 4, fast for 5. You got to reach new limitations or new expectations in this truth increasingly in order for you to obtain what you personally desire or for you to obtain rest. You can't obtain rest until you've done the work. You have to perform the work first, and then the Heavenly Father can give you the rest. Okay? But until then, you have to continuously strive for that next upper level or higher point in this truth, man. All right? And you can't look at these adversaries and say, damn, run the opposite direction. Because if you run the opposite direction, you're still going to have to go through that door. The only way through it is to go through it. That's it. But the fact of the matter is that as long as you're trying, as long as you're putting forth your best effort, the Heavenly Father is going to give you the tools necessary in order for you to be able to, get through it. And that's why we have other precepts of comfort, like I'm thinking of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man, right? But the Heavenly Father is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. And you got to understand, when you reach a different level in this truth, it comes with different expectations, all right? And different requirements. So your faith has to be tested. Your faith has to be upped. And that's why the Lord puts more boulderous demons in front of you in order for you to battle. Okay? And it's not for you to hate the Lord or abhor him. It's for you to see how possible the impossible really is. And we're all debt slaves, man. Whether you got baby mama drama and you paying child support, whether you done maxed out credit cards, whether you done took out a loan, whether you got a loan out on a car and it's boulderous, whether you paying a mortgage, like we all have some sort of debt, all right? Some more than the other. But the fact of the matter is that the Lord is capable of diminishing all of that. The Lord could have somehow, some way diminish that account, or make whatever place go bankrupt. Now you don't even have to pay them back. Like these are these are the things that could potentially happen to those who truly believe in the Heavenly Father. And that's why you really do just have to believe. You have to believe that he's capable. And you have to, and it's not even just believing, it's actually knowing, like, nah, the Lord is more than capable of doing this. Like, you gotta, and the thing is, when we look at things, we're looking at it on this very small perspective because we're looking at it from this one lens that's in front of us. You gotta step outside that one lens that's in front of you, jump outside of that, and really look at it from a higher standpoint. The Lord knows the hairs of he knows how many number of hairs is on each and every last vessel and body in this world. Animals included. He knows how many specks of grass is on the floor from every single point and ground of this world. And that's foolishness to him. Like, and it's just, we can't fathom it in this small skull. We can't fathom it with this small cartilage we call a brain, man. It's unfathomable. But the fact of the matter is that the Heavenly Father is more than capable. We are limiting him by our expectations, but he is more than capable to perform whatever it is that we're looking for him to perform. All right. And in this case, he fed his disciples. He gave them advice. He said, hey, do this. But this also, you got to pay attention to the details too. This is what happens when you listen to the Lord, and your spirit will speak to you. Let me grab that real quick. This is intercession also help with our infirmities. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 26. It says, likewise the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And I want to look up that word intercession. I'm actually look that up real quick. Just want to look this up. Intercession. To intercede. It's going to go back to that word. Intercession means interceding. Intercede. What does intercede mean? It means to come between or make. It says come between in space or time, right? Inter means between. Session means to go. All right. So the Lord allows the Spirit to intervene and to speak for us. All right. But we have to be obedient. We have to be obedient to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kadash, and be obedient to our spirit. Your spirit is going to let you know, hey, this is what you need to do. And it's going to direct you in that path. Because the thing is, we all have different vices. So we all have different things that we need to fast from or for. All right. So being the fact that that's the case, your spirit will let you know, hey, this is what your flesh wants. This is what you need. This is what your spirit needs. This is what your flesh needs. This is what your spirit wants. It's going to speak for you. All right. Especially because we are the children of the Heavenly Father. And we are vessels of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So we got to understand that the Heavenly Father is using the Spirit as a route in order for us to obtain the information that we need so that we can continuously follow after His way and get through what we need to get through, right? So I'm going to go back to this. This is John chapter 21, verse 6. It says, and he said unto them, cast the net on the right side of the ship, and ye shall find. They cast the net therefore, and now they were not able to draw it for the multitude of fishes. Therefore the disciples whom Yahushua loved, therefore that disciple whom Yahushua loved saith unto Peter, it is the Lord. Now when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he girt his fisher's coat unto him, for he was naked, and did cast himself into the sea. Right? It says, and the other disciples came in a little ship, for they were not far from the land, but as it were 200 cubits. Right? It says, dragging the net with fishes. As soon as they were come onto the land, they saw a fire of coals there, and fish laid thereon. It says, and bread. And Yahushua said unto them, bring of the fishes which ye have caught. And Simon Peter went up and drew the net to the land full of great fishes, 153. And for all there were so many, yet was not the net broken. Right? So the Lord is going to give you so much that He's going to give you so much that you can actually handle. And it doesn't tell how big these fishes were, man. These fishes could have been the size of like a fucking giant tuna. Never know, man. Because we talking about mighty men. They weren't like puny like us now, So, that's just adding more context to the precept, because it doesn't necessarily say, so we can use our imagination to envision how it actually was, man. But the fact of the matter is that they were obedient, and they were given exactly what they were inquiring for. All right. And it's the same concept with us. Be obedient, and the Lord will give you the things that you need, but you also reflect on the sins that you've committed, ask the Lord for forgiveness, and then move forward, man. and the Heavenly Father is going to grant us that which we need. So with that, I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shemel, Shabbat, Shemakal Kadash, Shenya Kabaka, Willa Rakaz, Kain Naba Aith, Shalom, Wabarak, Labakan, Shayasha Allah. Till next month, I say Shalom.